Powerful and provocative, prophetic and practical,
Have you ever found yourself?
Are you dating for that person?
informative and
I feel
inspirational.
every bit of it. Like, I'm not trying to waste my
How you gonna do better if you don't know what better looks like? I do. Come on, let's talk about it with me, the mind massager. Come on in the room. Come on. And I hope y'all. What's up, Dr. Simpson? Bishop Simpson. I'm sorry. I know protocol. I do know protocol. Y'all share this as y'all come in, please. Please, ma'am. Please, sir. I'm trying to invite some people in. Let them know we're on. If y'all help me, that'll make it a lot easier. Who else I want to invite? Oh, the music, I'm going to let it cycle one more time because I'm still getting my thoughts together. And I want to get some people in because, like I said, this is a open mic night. So if y'all will be patient, invite some people. If you have something you'd like to discuss tonight, drop it in the chat. Drop it in the chat. Or better yet, call the phone number. Hit the link when I put the link up in a little while. Whatever you want to do. Come on in the room. We vibing tonight, for real. Who's there? Y'all there? Drop your name in the chat or let me know where you're listening from. Oh, I gotta invite some more people. Hold on, y'all. I didn't mark it like I normally do, but I hope one day there. We just be thankful. All right, hold on. Let me invite some people. We're inviting some people now, y'all. Get some people on. All right. Because like I said, this is going to be Hold on, let me turn this music down. That's enough. I ain't gonna lie, I could vibe to it all night though. Honestly.
Intellectual.
Here I come for real, y'all. Here I come. Here I come. Here I come. Here I come. Hold on. One more minute.
You ain't right.
Right. I ain't right. All right. So, let me fix that. Oh, hold on. One more person. Two more people. Then I'm almost there, y'all. Hold on. They tired of waiting on me, y'all. Hold on. Let me turn this music off. I'm multitask. All right. So there we go. I'm trying to invite people and let them know that we are on. Okay. Are you on the right video, Lisa? Yes, we have to follow one another. That's how we grow spiritually. Yeah, you Lisa on the wrong show. Let me let's if you're here, let me know you're y'all tap in, let me know you're here. I see Lisa commenting on last week's show. Let me excuse me, let me let her know that we are on. I promise I promise I just saw her commenting on last week's show. So that's crazy. Yeah, but what's up? What it do? Time for another episode of the Intellectual Stew with yours truly, James Kirkland. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. I have zero agenda tonight. It's really open mic night. I got some notes, but I really don't hope we don't get to them too much. But I really do have zero agenda. This is really going to be an open mic night. There, the phone number is 404. Let me get some water. 404-860-2775. That's the phone number. Hold on. So the floor is open. We can talk about whatever y'all want to talk about, other than politics. I don't really talk about politics. That's not really my thing. I don't follow them too much. So I'm sorry if that's what you all want to talk about, because I can't really participate knowledgeably in that kind of conversation. So, but anything else, I'm kind of game on some of those things. I'm kind of, notice I said kind of game. I'm sometimes I'm scared to come out of my comfort zone because I don't know where y'all gonna try to lead me, and I don't want to be led. I like, I'm kind of like being in control. You know what I'm saying? So if I like, I'm an introvert, but I can function in crowds that I can control, right? So somewhat, I do have the power of the button where I can like mute you, or I can kick you from the stage, or if something got out of hand. But I don't think anything will get out of hand. We have a really cool community that I've called the Stew Crew. Listen, if you have not seen my new website, you should go check it out. You can buy merch there. You can find out kind of what's going on. Now, I built this site, so y'all don't make fun of me. I built it. So don't make fun of me. I'm gonna go ahead and drop it in the chat for those that want to check it out at a later date. You can. All right. Oh, I just did it on. I forgot when I put stuff in the chat on this end, it goes straight to YouTube. It doesn't go to Facebook. So let me get it for Facebook as well. Hold on, let me get it for Facebook. But yeah, y'all go ahead and share this, please, and let people know that we're on, and we can go and like get this conversation. Well, whatever conversation evolves tonight. There the website is. Now let me find the link for those that might want to step in, want to chat tonight, or jump in the conversation, or say something. Thank you, Alicia. She is on the site. She's on the site, and I appreciate her for all that she does to help kind of make this vision kind of go, a reality. It's touching somebody, and she actually shared a testimonial, and when people say nice things about me, I like, for other people to hear it as well. So I put it out there, and yeah, go check out the site, and I hope you all enjoy it. I always take advice. I take constructive criticism. I take advice. I'm better at taking criticism than I used to be. I'm better at criticism than I used to be. So yeah, but most of y'all don't criticize. When y'all talk, y'all kind of speak from a place of betterment or a better place of kind of love, and I do appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. So yeah, let me see if I can tag Lisa on this, because I think she's in the wrong. Like I said, on the wrong. She watching last week's show. And let me tag somebody else. If y'all can tag a few people as well, like I said, we can go ahead and get the conversation started, because I really don't want to lead the conversation tonight. I want you all to lead the conversation. I want you all to tell me what's on your mind. What thoughts are simmering or are stewing in your mind. Some thought, concerns, whatever. Hold on, I gotta grab something. Got to plug this computer up, because if I don't, we're gonna look up later on. We won't have it. Well, I had it and I dropped it. Grab it again. My bad. I forgot to plug it up. Hey, Marsha, how you doing? It is one. Hey, Marsha, I'm telling you, like I tell everybody else. First, I'm gonna ask you all to share this that have not shared it. But tonight, y'all see the sign right there? It says open mic night. So with it being open mic night, I want to talk about what y'all want to talk about. You know, I've been dealing with Joseph. I've been dealing with Grace. Alicia, what did we talk about last week? Oh yeah, we talked about being in a healthy mental space, in a healthy mental space. And I made a decision not to go to church last week. But tonight I want y'all to kind of lead the conversation. And if you don't, you know, I'm gonna give y'all a couple more minutes, for a few more minutes. And if you don't, then I'll come up with something. But because I've had some thoughts kind of come through my mind. Let me see what's a thought that came through my mind in the last week. Okay, I got one. I put a post up the other day, and it didn't get a whole lot of traction, but I want to see what you all think about it. I put a post up, and I'm gonna put it on the screen. But I said something like, a breakthrough involves breaking through. A breakthrough involves breaking through, because everybody, you know, we love to use the colloquial term in the church. Got to get my breakthrough. Got to get my breakthrough. I can't wait to get my breakthrough. I can't wait to get my breakthrough. But let me ask you all a question right quick. In your opinion, what does it mean to get a breakthrough? What does a breakthrough look like to you all? Because I mean, just considering the word structure, a breakthrough. It's open mic night, so I don't have, like I said, I don't have no really any plans. I'm just kind of flowing, and if y'all flow with me, we can flow together. And if y'all want to change the subject, please, by all means. If you say, Kirk, that's stupid, I don't want to talk about that. Well, don't do that, but because I wouldn't do you like that. But let's think about that. When you talk, because people are always talking about, I want a breakthrough. I can't wait to get my breakthrough. I can't wait to get my breakthrough. But when you really think about a breakthrough, what do you think a breakthrough or breaking through entails? Does it sound like something that would be easy? Does it sound like something, who laughing at me? Does it sound like something that wouldn't involve any difficulty? You know what I'm saying? Every day is going to be hot, sunny, and I mean, everything is cool and wonderful and great and grand. And I mean, all the time. I mean, but I need y'all to talk back to me for real. What do you think a breakthrough involves? And yeah, hold on. Let me move this sign, because in case somebody want to call. Oh, you know what? Y'all can't call in because I ain't turned on the phone. Hold on. Y'all mighty quiet tonight. Y'all better help me, because y'all know I've been at work all day. Help me, please. Help me, please. Let me turn the phone on in case somebody wants to call. All right, so I'm turning the phone on now. Are y'all? Am I saying amen lights? Is anybody there? What does a breakthrough involve to y'all? What does it look like? Let me move this banner so y'all can put the phone. I can put the phone number up. All right, there it is. But what do you think a breakthrough involves? Let me see. Let me ask my good friend. What is a breakthrough? A breakthrough in church terms. I'm Googling this. Well, not really Googling, but kind of getting some information. All right. And nobody still gave me an answer yet? Are y'all writing an essay? And I'm going to have to read a long essay. What does it mean? What is a breakthrough? What does it mean when you talk about getting a breakthrough? Now, I just typed in, I asked, what is a breakthrough? It said, in church or Christian terms, a breakthrough refers to a significant spiritual, emotional, or situational shift where a person experiences divine intervention or a powerful move of God that changes their circumstances, mindset, or level of faith. And it is often seen as a moment of victory or deliverance after, watch this, this is the key and critical component, after a period of struggle, prayer, or waiting. That's a breakthrough. Let me put that on. I can put that on the screen. Hold on, in case somebody wants to read that. Let me put that on the screen. Are y'all? Let me put that on the screen. Hold on. What is a breakthrough? Here's a definition of a breakthrough. In church or Christian terms, a breakthrough refers to a significant spiritual, emotional, or situational shift where a person experiences divine intervention or a powerful move of God that changes their circumstances, mindset, or level of faith. It is often seen as a moment of breakthrough or deliverance after a period of struggle. So if I say a breakthrough involves breaking through, does that sound like it's something that's going to be easy? Yep, let me see. Marsha, that's a good point. Marsha said, I feel that goes perfectly with no test, no testimony. You can't even have a testimony unless you have a test. It's grammatically impossible. You can't spell testimony without the word test. And the test is the preceding part of the testimony. And so if we are going to go through the test, and as we go through the test, we have to struggle sometimes through the test. Sometimes it's almost like a fight. Sometimes it's like a struggle, right? It's not easy. It's difficult. And if you want to break through, then that means you really have to break through. And that's everything in life. That's educationally, that's spiritually, that's emotionally. Sometimes in life, if you want to go to a new level, there are going to be glass ceilings that you have to shatter. And when you shatter them, you have to break through them if you're going to get through, because there's so many things. And sometimes that glass ceiling is so clear that you really can't recognize it with the human eye. And if you're not careful, you'll walk right into something that will hurt you, something that is painful to you, if you're not careful. You'll find yourself. And so, but here's the problem, Marsha, is that when some people, when they find themselves, I cannot believe this child is on the wrong show. I got to tell her she's on the wrong show. It is so funny. Yeah, sometimes when you are trying to break through, you'll bump into something, and you'll bump your head over and over again, and you don't even see what it is you're bumping into. Sometimes it's just yourself. Sometimes it's just your ego. Sometimes it's not actually accepting reality, right? Because so many of us operate in delusion. I've been there. I'll be honest. I've been there. I've been there. I've been there. So the question is, when we talk about breaking through, what does a breakthrough look like to you? Does it mean you sit on your do nothing and do nothing? Does your breakthrough look like you sitting like Job in sackcloth and ashes? Yeah, I see, Lisa, you on the wrong show. I'm looking up. I'm steadily seeing messages from the old notifications from the old show. I'm saying, Lisa, you on the wrong show, ma'am. But no, here we are. You back. I appreciate you. Listen, it is open mic night tonight. So, Lisa, we started out talking about a break. What does a breakthrough look like to you? I said a breakthrough involves breaking through. But what does that mean? Breaking, really breaking through. She said it means I've worked hard. Marsha said it means I've worked hard and now I've got the victory. And that victory comes through on the other side of the test. Now, listen to this part. Tests are relative, right? I mean, everybody's test doesn't look the same. You know what? Because the things that, it's amazing how God allows you to walk on what drowns other people. Does that make sense? Right? So tests are relative, right? But like you said earlier, Marsha, you can't have a test without a testimony. There's no way. It's grammatically impossible to have a test without a testimony. So when we talk about a breakthrough involves breaking through, I mean, you have to be careful for what you ask for when you start asking God to give you a breakthrough. Because when you start asking God to give you a breakthrough, now you're asking God to take you to another level. It's supposed to be open mic night. I need y'all to talk to me tonight. I don't want to dominate the conversation. Listen, but when you start talking about you want a breakthrough and God, I need my breakthrough. Lord, I need my breakthrough. Lord, I need it. I need my breakthrough. What's good? No problem. Hey, no problem. Hey, listen, the chat is pinned and the phone number's there. Y'all can chime in. But we're talking about what does a breakthrough look like? Because we talk about it in colloquial terms, but there have been many that broke through in the world, right? In sports, Jackie Robinson, even though, Jackie Robinson broke the glass ceiling when it came to MLB. I mean, so many people broke, glass ceilings and whatever, and that was their breakthrough. But when we talk about breaking through usually means, and that's the definition I used a minute ago. Let me put it back up a second. Put it back up. Now, I said in church or Christian terms, a breakthrough refers to a significant spiritual, emotional, or situational shift where a person experiences divine intervention or a powerful move of God that changes their circumstances, mindset, or level of faith. It is often seen as a moment of victory or deliverance after a period of struggle, prayer, or waiting. Now, Dennis said he just got out of the gym. That's what my little brother just said. Dennis Pittman. He said he just got out of the gym, right? And so if he went in the gym and worked out, right? Now, I don't know what he does. I know he played basketball in college, but say he lifts weights. Say if he lifts weights, right? When he lifts weights, he tries to experience resistance, because the resistance ends up building resilience, right? Because the more resistant you are, more resistance you face, the more resilient you become. But then one day, after a few weeks of working out, just doing reps, Dennis might say, you know what? I want to go ahead and max out. Let me go ahead and max out. Now, last time, I don't know what you mentioned, Dennis, but I'm going to go ahead and give you 325. Is that too much? I'm going to give you 325. So say Dennis bench pressed 325 2 weeks ago. But for the last 2 weeks, he's been working out with 200, 250, 275. Sometimes he might touch 300, but he's been doing reps. He's doing all these reps, right? But then 2 weeks later, Dennis decides he's going to max out again. And so when he decides to max out this time, he goes for 350. Way too much. Okay, I'm giving it to you, bro. It's yours. But he goes for 350. This is my story. I'm going to tell it the way I want to tell it, little bro. I've got it. But he goes for 350, right? He goes for 350. And so he's done 325, but for 2 weeks, he's been working out with 250. He's been doing 275. He even worked out with a little bit with 300, right? He's doing all of this, right? So all of a sudden he gets under this weight, and 350 doesn't seem as heavy as it should because he handled 250. He handled 275. He handled 300, and he even handled 325. So he made a 25-pound jump because of the resistance that he had faced, and that resistance built his resilience. The reason why you're able to handle the test of life is because you handled this little test, this little test. It was a light bill, it was a phone bill, it was whatever it was, and then all of a sudden it got bigger and got bigger. But every time, if you came away with the new testimony that said, if I never had a problem, I wouldn't have known that God could solve them. But because you have watch this, because you have a relationship, and because you've seen him come through in the past, then you're not amazed when he comes through again. Let me see what Lisa said. Lisa said, we need breakthroughs. But what are we actually breaking through to overcome? The challenges can be mind-blowing and can make or break a person. And that's absolutely right. And if it breaks you, then you didn't break through. Right? If it breaks you. And that's the thing about it is that even if it doesn't break you, I mean, even if it breaks you, God is a God of another chance, right? You know, I mean, if you don't get it one way, like, I mean, sometimes I'll use an analogy. And I might say the same thing 4 or 5 different ways to make sure, you know, because see, Dennis might understand it on one level, but Lisa, then you understand it on another level. And then Marsha might understand it on another level. So if God allows me to say the same thing 3 different ways so that everybody can get it, then that's what I got to do. Does that make sense? And so when we get to a point, place, and posture where we're trying to break through, but it seems like we're broken while we're breaking through, God might say, you know what, I threw you a curveball last time. Let me go ahead and give you a slow pitch so you can knock this one out. Now, if I give you the slow pitch, now you're going to eventually be able to handle, you got to be able to handle the fast pitch. But I need you to, see, sometimes in my life, I've made some bad decisions. I'll be honest. I've made some bad, and I don't know if they were bad decisions, but I would test God, right? You know, at least I would experience a breakthrough. I mean, sure enough, breakthrough. It was my breakthrough. I would get it. And while I was experiencing a breakthrough, I would say, God, if you bringing me out to put me back in, then don't let me out. And I believe that sometimes as we go through this pilgrimage called life, on the way to the palace, as Joseph went, sometimes we'll experience pitfalls, but even in that, he'll allow us to experience, watch this, he'll allow us to experience temporary victories. That's just my testimony. I don't know if that works for you all or not. But does anybody else ever experienced that before? Because that's how life is, you know, life's terrain. It consists, Lisa, peaks and valleys, right? You know, that you got highs and you have lows. You know, it's not all highs in life. That's just not feasible. Nothing about life says that we're going to always experience the highs of life. There are going to be times that we experience the highs and the lows of life. That's just life's terrain, right? There are some things we're going to have to go through, but as we go through them, as we pick up the light, I like what folks say, you know, I'm picking up what you're putting down. If we learn how to pick up what life is putting down, what does Kirkland always tell you? Kirkland always tells you this, that life lends lessons. Finish it, somebody. We just got to figure out how to consider the clues. Exactly. So here we go. We go through life, you know, we go through the pit, right? Joseph's in the pit. He thinks it's all over, but then he ends up at Potiphar's house. And even at Potiphar's house, Jarvis, favor found him. See, if favor is on you on the mountaintop and in the valley low. Favor is not negated because you're going through a trial. The Bible says, count it all joy when you find yourself in diverse temptations, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. It's like God thought enough of you to allow you to be picked out so that you could be picked on, so that he could prove that when he picked you, he didn't make a mistake. He knew exactly who you were, and he knows just how much you're able to bear. But if we're going to really break through, we got to understand that a breakthrough involves breaking through. You might lose some things you thought you had. I mean, you said death do you said till death does you part, and then you're by yourself. Oh, Lord. And you thought you forfeited it. Because that's what's that's what the word means when count on things but lost. The word lost in the Greek means I forfeited those things. See, when you're in the master's hands, no one can pluck you out. That's scripture, right? But we can be drawn away of our own lust, because that's what the enemy does. He stands around the peripheries with everything that's enticing to us, with billboards saying, I'm over here. Remember, you enjoyed this. You like this. Come on back. It don't take but a moment. Try it. Give it a minute. Whatever. Come on the other side. And then we're drawn away. He's not going to tempt you with anything, Lisa, that does not work. I see you, Pastor Evan. Pastor Evan said God proves you before he promotes you. Absolutely. Yeah. You know what? That makes me think, my children, they didn't talk a whole lot in the house. My children, they were listeners, but every now and then I wanted to make them talk because I needed to know what they were saying, right? And if my children never got angry with me and didn't ever speak to me again, I know they're solid, right? Because I put something in them, and so I think that's what God does with us. Like I said, if you miss the curveball, he might throw you a fastball right down the middle just so you can experience that temporary victory. When Joseph had been in the pit for so long, he went to Potiphar's house for an appointed time. And really, Potiphar's house, watch this, the Potiphar's houses of life is a good place to put up a mailbox. Yeah. The Potiphar's houses of life, right? Because in the Potiphar's house, you got like 1,700 3-account sheets. You got meat, you got chicken and steak and shrimp, however y'all say it, crab leg. Y'all got all, everything, all the creature comforts are available at Potiphar's house. And not only that, but Potiphar had given him charge, right? He was able to, he had the checkbook. He made sure the workers got paid. He made sure everything was in order. He had favor at Potiphar's house. But what happens when you've gone to a place that was supposed to be temporary? You put up a mailbox and then God tells you got to move. And then when he tells you got to move, you got to go to a place that's worse than where you were. And watch this. If the pit was barely get along Boulevard and Potiphar's house was enough avenue, but now you got to go back to prison. How does that work? And that's what happens when you're breaking through. If there are moments when you're in low places, when you're in the pit, and then God allows you to experience a temporary victory on your way to your place of promise. Understand, the destiny that we're trying to get to is to the place of God. Elijah, his destiny wasn't Kerith, his destiny was Carmel. Now he took a pit stop at Kerith. Life was like surgery with no anesthesia for him for a season while he was at Kerith, but Kerith was never, ever going to be the destiny. Carmel was the destiny. And sometimes on the path, places that you put up mailboxes that you thought was a place of permanency, you want to know why you're so unfulfilled. You know why because you're not in the place where we're divinely destined to be. Lisa, I know you don't want it, God, get someone else to do it, but if it's on you, it's on you. If it's on you, the gifts and calling of God. What did it say? Huh? It's supposed to be open mic night. Y'all supposed to be talking to me. Listen, the gifts and calling of God are without repentance. If the calling is up on you, you are in a process right now. You're on a path, and it's a place that God wants to get you to. And in that place, in that place, you're going to have to look at people that did you wrong. You're going to have to provide for people who put you in pits. You're going to have to deal with folk that meant you no good. And you're going to have to get to a place. God has me in a season right now, and I'm asking him, Lord, what are you doing? This doesn't make any sense. It makes absolutely no sense considering what I was doing versus what you have me. I don't get it. What are you doing? But then God said, if you sit down and you get the lesson out of what I'm trying to teach you, you understand that my spirit would not lead you where my grace cannot keep you. But if you sit down and listen to the lesson that you say that life is lending, you're going to get the message that I have for you. So I had to go back and thankfully I got a friend and she talks to me, you know, and she make me look at things through different lenses, right? Because sometimes I'm James, right? I mean, and sometimes I'm not as bad as I used to be. Thank God I'm not what I used to be, but I'm not all that I should be. But sometimes she'll help me look at things from different perspectives, right? And so I had to look at this situation that I'm in, and I understand that this is just a pit stop on the way to the place where God wants me to be. And the good part about it, and you know, oh God, you know what keeps me moving towards to the place of promise? I'm gonna tell you why. Because I've looked and I've seen what the end looks like. Y'all better talk to me. Lisa, she said, well, I'm waiting to come out of the waiting area. Yeah. But in this waiting area, you don't have to be summoned. This is not the waiting area like the doctor's office, you know, where where they go and look at your chart. You know, he already knows all that. He ain't got to go look up your chart. He ain't got to look at no, oh God, that's good. He ain't got to look at no computer. He don't have to look at you by your last name. He don't have to do none of that kind of stuff. This waiting room right here, it's the doorknob is on the inside. It's facing you. Come here, Kirkland. The doorknob is facing you. You got to open that one. And when you open it, but the thing about it is you can't open it until you're really ready to go through it. Because if you don't go through it with full force, you'll end up back in the waiting area. And then when you're back in the waiting area, watch this. That's how you end up in the grace gap. That's when you start feeling guilty. That's when you start experiencing resentment. That's when you feel your anxiety. You know, you start condemning yourself. You start getting this ego. You start going through all of these things because you keep making U-turns. You be like the children of Israel walking around the same rock for 40 long years. Does that make sense? Okay. Who else? Who else is listening tonight? Who else feels like you're in the waiting room? Yeah. But you keep running into walls blindly. Yeah, that's fine. I get it. I've done it. Then I opened my eyes. And when I opened my eyes, and it wasn't, God, you're doing this to me tonight. And it wasn't the physical eyes that I opened at that point. I opened up a whole new set of spiritual eyes. You keep opening up every time you put yourself out there. I can't help it. I can only work with what you give me. I can only work with what you give me. Yeah, but it was, and I can juxtapose your experiences because I've been there. That's the thing, Lisa. The thing is, when I was looking with my eyes, am I the only one? Who else? Am I the only one? Little brother Dennis. When I was looking with my eyes, but when I learned how to close my eyes and open up with my spiritual eyes and start to see things through a different perspective. One of my friends, we were talking today, he said, man, I can't rile you up like I used to. He said, you seem a whole lot more calm. I said, I can't say what I'm thinking, but I had to stop. You know, I use the metaphor often about how my stress level went down. The more my middle finger started going up, I mean it. I didn't walk around physically sticking my middle finger up at anybody. That's not my. I didn't do that. I'm not that bad. But my attitude, and it's not a bad attitude. Please understand that. Understand that in context. Don't just put a one size fits all on that statement, but understand that in context. Because what I'm saying in that instance is that for a season I had to at least, God first, but then I had to put me right there, and when I did that and I started to make the proper adjustments, right? When I started to get on, as I call it, on the path to better, on the path to better, all that is working very hard to become the very best version of myself. Does that make sense? And so that wasn't always easy. That involved being stuck on the couch. And that's, y'all that know my book, those that involved a season of being stuck. And y'all, I don't know if you know what it feels like to be stuck. Anybody else? You don't understand? There she go again, y'all. She keeps setting herself up. I'll give me you do it, I'll give it to you. She said, I don't understand how God could assign such a massive assignment to such a widow woman, but I understand the assignment and I'm determined to finish. Absolutely. Yeah. And I wouldn't try to understand. Because if I believe Isaiah 55:8 that his thoughts are higher than my thoughts and his ways are higher than my ways, so then there's certain things that I can't waste mental space doing. Y'all have y'all ever heard the joke about Einstein? They said Albert Einstein was at a party and some woman hit on him and she said that you're the smartest man in the world. No, hold on. I'm sorry. Let me tell the joke right, Coy. She said, she asked him for his phone number. And when she asked him for his phone number, he went and grabbed the phone book. And when he grabbed the phone book, he looked up the phone number and gave the phone number to the woman. She said, you're the smartest man in the world. Why did you have to go and look your phone number up in the phone book? He said, well, I don't waste mental space with things that I have access to. And so as I've gotten older, and I'm in my 50s now, I'm 52 years old, I don't waste mental space with stuff that does not matter anymore. Because when I did that, it was Lisa, Coy, Pastor Evans, it was the equivalence of fighting air. I'm fighting battles that weren't even there, and so I had to, when I started to learn how to keep the main thing, and really focus on what mattered, like my children, and make sure I got this money right. When I start focusing on things that really, but more than anything, my relationship with God, because things just seem to happen better, just things seem to happen better for me, And so but Marsha, what I've learned to do, because I love to use the equivalence, the analogy of Elisha at the brook of Kerith being the place of cutting, as a place like he was going through surgery with no anesthesia. I like to equate life to such, right? I like to really be cognizant in the trial. Does that make sense? I mean, I want to be very cognizant. If I'm going through the fire, if I'm going through flood, if I'm going through I want to be cognizant and aware, because it's interesting that we go through fire but don't smell like smoke. We go through floods and don't feel the remnants of the water, but we know the fire is there. And we know the water is there, and we know what the fire could do. Oh, we know what the water could do, but because it didn't. See, that's where I'm at in it. That's where my mindset is. I'm aware. I've seen what water can do. I mean, we on the news, we see. I mean, they had fires in Minnesota last week, fires in California not too long ago. I mean, water floods everywhere. We know what they could do. But the scripture, Psalm 66, I believe, says we go through the fire, we go through the flood, in order to get to the wealthy place. The wealthy place, Coy, I'm sorry, it don't have nothing to do with commas and zeros. The wealthy place is a place of rich fulfillment. That's a place where I can go to bed at night and sleep as long as I want to. When I got peace that passeth all understanding. But that makes sense after I've broken through. You got people who are successful, right? You got people who are successful, and they broke through education. You don't know how many papers they had to write. You don't know what kind of tests they had to pass. You don't know what kind of things they had to endure. But when they took the test and passed it, or when they got the diploma and made it through, that was their breakthrough. So don't get mad when they're making six figures and they make, and they go to salaries with high paying jobs, because they suffered to this. Does that make sense? I ain't say suffer through it. That's y'all talking. I don't talk like that. I'm through with the pity conversations. I don't suffer through nothing. I suffer to it. If I suffer about, my suffering had an assignment. My suffering had an assignment. If I suffer, I'm suffering to something. There's a plan and a purpose of the pain that I'm going through right now. And if it's perpetual pain, when I come through, I'll receive a promotion. I'm suffering to it. Does that make sense? Somebody type that in the chat. Say, I'm suffering to it. I'm suffering to it. I'm suffering to it. If you're suffering. Now, if you ain't suffering, don't type it. Don't even put that on yourself. Don't put that on yourself. No, you don't. If you're not suffering. But if you are, if you feel like you're suffering to it, and I ain't gonna lie, I might not say I'm suffering to it, but I'm suffering to it because I'm not quite where I want to be just yet. Type that in the chat. Let me type it right quick because I need to. Yeah, I'm suffering to it. I'm putting it on it because you know what? Because I'm not. See, if you're not suffering to it, that means that you feel like that could mean. I ain't gonna say absolute. That don't mean not absolute. But I'm saying that means that you think you've arrived and everything's okay. Everything's hunky-dory. You got your retirement set. You know, you ain't gonna never have to worry about no bill. Lisa, I ain't reading all that. No, I'm gonna read it. Lisa, can you just break it down in little morsels and pits? But I'm just playing. I believe sometimes. Hold on, let me read what Lisa said. I believe sometimes that in a temporary emergency, preparedness, involuntary, voluntary in life, eventually I hope to get paid for my service. Okay. All right. Sometimes I think Lisa be writing for y'all, but I'm suffering to it. When I get through with this suffering, I'm going to be able to look in my tool belt and I'm going to say, I got that. I got that. She said, nope. I got that. I got that. And all of that came on the heels of experience, right? Does that make sense? So did you really understand what experience does? Experience does something that ultimately ends in what Paul says becomes patience. We get patience because we experienced it, right? I was much more patient with my third child than I was my first child. Lord knows. I just had a flashback. Lord knows I'm much more patient with that one. But because I made my mistakes on the first one. And then I did a little bit better with the second one. And by the third one, okay, whatever, go ahead. Push the button, whatever. That's when I tell Mackenzie, I got Trey, Kennedy, and Mackenzie. Trey and Kennedy, they would be like, Daddy, what would happen if I push this button? But Mackenzie be like, I pushed the button and then this is what happened. Different mentalities, right? Totally different mentalities, right? Totally different mentalities. But both are effective. And as a parent, you let them choose and then you cultivate the choice. Does that make sense? I was talking to somebody today. He said, man, how do I get these kids to go outside? I said, I don't know. He said, man, I'm really asking, what do I do to make them go outside? I said, find out what they like. I want them to do this. I said, what if you want them to do something they don't want to do? And then they're going to grow up and resent you. I said, let them choose. And then you cultivate the choice. Who's courageous enough to do that? Right? I mean, if your child, has a musical ear and decide they want to play the violin, are you going to go buy them a violin? You got a Trey and a Mackenzie? Okay. I got a Trey Mackenzie and a Kennedy. Now, mine doesn't have a Y. His real name is James III. We just call him Trey. And my Mackenzie is McKenzie. Those are my babies. And then I got a Kennedy. But yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, cultivate a choice. Cultivate the choice. God does that for us when he allows us to operate in his permissive will for so long. Now we operate in that permissive will until we decide to accept his will. Once we accept his will, then the permissive will is null and void. Does that make sense? I shouldn't have said that. That's going to mess up somebody's theology. I shouldn't have said that. Listen, it's open mic night. I've talked about the breakthrough long enough. I've been talking about the breakthrough for like 48 minutes. And I promise this is supposed to be open mic night. Lisa, what else y'all want to talk about? Corey, give me something to talk about. No, I ain't talking about no Diddy. I ain't talking about no, but the breakthroughs, man, breakthroughs. And I really want you to listen. I sense that God is really about in this season is really getting ready to take people to another level. I think people that have suffered in this last season that thought their suffering was in vain, I think they're getting ready to start to experience astronomical victories. I think that victories are going to start coming. You're going to start experiencing wins like no other. I think your meal barrel is never going to run dry. I think some really get ready to experience some astronomical victories, but it's going to come on the backside of a breakthrough. Somebody said something to me yesterday, Coy, and I had to listen to them. They said you get right to your point of breakthrough so many times, and then you walk away. Why won't you walk through the door? I'm telling you now, and I'm saying it in front of everybody that's listening, I'm walking through it. Now, as I walk through it, I invite you to walk through with me. Listen, when I've been teaching you and I've been talking with you, I don't just tell you my story. I don't just tell you stuff just to be telling you. I tell you my real life. I tell you, no, okay, Dennis, let's talk. He said it's a thin line between giving your child control over their life and trying to guide them into greatness. Absolutely. It's a very thin line between the two. But the key word you just said is guiding them into greatness. A good guide does not guide them into danger, right? But they guide them into places they can develop them, right? Because as a parent, you see way on ahead. You don't see now, you also see next, right? And so in seeing next, you kind of construct the plan to get them the most out of what they're trying to do. Now, I'm not saying give them control. I'm not, because they're not supposed to have control. But I will say give them a say. Does that make sense? Does that mean you said yeah, Lisa. So it's time to go get through this breakthrough, but we have to realize that your suffering season has not been in vain. In fact, so now my challenge is to get out of the grace gap, learn how to receive grace, and then once we receive grace, then we'll give grace. Now, Dennis, I watch what you're doing with your daughters. Now, you play D1 basketball. You played at Kent State, and you guard, and I'm sure you taught your daughter how to get her handles, and you taught her how to do a layup off one leg. And then when you saw she was good enough, you took her out of rec ball and put her in travel ball. And then when you put her on one travel team and you saw she was better, then you put her on a more competitive team. And you saw those things, and you've been there the whole time. I did the same thing with my son in baseball. I remember I used to coach him, and I had a loud voice. And one time, and we were in a white league, and Trey was going to make All-Star. And the white coaches came to me and said, James, we want to put him on All-Star, but we're scared that you're going to get us in trouble in some of the tournaments. Now, old James probably wanted to cuss them out in English, Spanish, and Pig Latin. I wanted to cuss. I mean, and I'm a pretty good cusser when I decide I want to do it, but but I didn't think about me. I thought about my son. And they put my son out there, and he played baseball, and he was 8 years old, I think, then. And he had played shortstop all year long. But, they like to put us in the outfield. They put us in the outfield. And he had never played outfield in the first 2 or 3 games. They kept hitting him pop flies. He dropping them. And then after the game was over, I told the coach, I said, if you put him in a position to be successful, or at least teach him how to play outfield, I think he'll be okay. Well, we got into the tournament after losing the first 2 or 3 games, and we got into the bracket play, and they took the 2 little African-American boys that were in the outfield and put them at shortstop and second base. And all of a sudden, man, we went on a run. We didn't lose we won like Pony League. We won so many games. I mean, just killing. But I had to shut my mouth, put him in a position to win, right? And then when he got a little older and we put him in travel ball, then sometimes my presence my presence was the present. I just had to be in the atmosphere, because I had to put him in a position to win beyond just me, right? And that breakthrough was different, because it involved, I had to have some tongue band-aids, because there were times I wanted to say something, but I couldn't say it like I wanted to say. Now, I said a lot. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I embarrassed them a few times because I was very protective of my children. I paid for that bat. I paid $70 a week for him to get batting lessons. So I didn't want just a random person telling him how to hit, and that would be embarrassing to them sometimes. But I'm like, as a parent or as a dad, I see something you don't see. And I hate when sometimes they try to understand on their level and haven't been. Does that make sense? I don't know. Because sometimes they can take things so personal. But yeah, I don't know where I went on that one. But listen, open mic now. What else? Anybody else got something else they want to talk about tonight? Because if y'all don't want to talk anymore, I might have one more thing to talk about. I might have one more thing to talk about. Then I might not, or I might keep talking about this breakthrough. What y'all want to do? Y'all tell me what you all want to do, because I want to. What y'all want to do? What you all, Dennis? I'm gonna ask you a question. Well, I'm trying to go back to what you said. You said it's a thin line between giving them their control. So, what to Dennis? Let me ask you a question. What do you think? What does giving a child control over their life look like? Conjua said you're talking on some basic stuff. I was thinking my question was, how can you know who is really from God without judgment of others? You got to break that down a little bit more for me, Conjua. I'm just rambling tonight, Corey. I appreciate you. I miss you, Corey. That's my buddy. Corey was like my co-host forever. She ran off and left me. But you're talking on some basic stuff. I was thinking, my question was, how can you know who is really from God without judge? Oh, okay. Well, that's a good question. I could take that. I could take that. Well, Scripture teaches us that a tree is known. Good night, Marsha. I appreciate you. A tree is known for the fruit that it bears. So if you look at a tree and a tree is not bringing forth good fruit, that's not judging. Like if Corey lives in Florida, so she, they got orange vines and whatnot. So she walks up to something and the fruit on it is oranges. She's not going to mistake the oranges for apples, right? And she's not going to say these are supposed to be apples because these are oranges. And if she wanted apples, she would go somewhere where an apple tree was, right? So if you're trying to figure out if someone is from God, you probably at that point not necessarily need to become a judge. Good night, Alicia. I appreciate you. You're not necessarily a judge, right? But you might be a fruit inspector. And it's okay to inspect fruit. Does that make sense? It's okay to, because a tree ought to be known by the fruit that it bears. So if you see them sowing seeds of corruption, I'm putting the website back in here for those who didn't get it earlier. I just redid the website, so y'all go there and subscribe and shop whatever you want to do. You can go there, get the book, you can get t-shirts, all those types of things on the website. Yeah. So Conjua, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for fruit. That's what you're looking for. And for years, personally, Corey, I've been teaching them about the grace. You're not going nowhere. That was from Marsha. Okay. For the last few weeks, Corey, I've been teaching them about the grace gap. And I say some of us keep ourselves in a position where we're unable to receive grace because we're in the grace gap. But the grace gap, thank you, Dennis. The grace gap, Dennis, I know you know it by heart by now. I'm gonna give it, but I'm gonna give it to her. I would ask you to give it to her, but I'm gonna give it to her. The grace gap is guilt, it's resentment, it's anxiety, it's condemnation, and ego. As long as you're participating in these 5 things, then those things will prohibit you from receiving grace. And the thing about it is, it's crazy how we penalize ourselves and place ourselves in a position where we feel like we don't deserve grace, when Scripture already says that it's by grace that we're saved. He gave us, it's a free gift. We ain't have to buy it. We ain't have to barter for it. We didn't have to beg for it. It's like, it's free. And it's unlimited. You can have as much grace as you want because he died. That it's there. But because we're guilty, I feel like we're guilty, because we're going through resentment, because we're practicing anxiety, because we're participating in condemnation, because we walk around with this big old mask on, this ego that makes us look one way in person, but when we go home and we take off the makeup and take off the wig and take off the lashes, you look a whole hot. No, I ain't gonna say that, but does that make sense? But when you really, 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 really get real and you recognize that who you are and how far you might have fallen, you might even had a conversation like I had when God told me, Kirk, you fell before you got up. That lets me know that I didn't fall too far. If you've even fallen, once you look in that mirror and you start focusing, when you start to focusing, and you start to say, okay, these are flaws. I need to fix this. Not with filters. Because I've seen filters make Heavy folk look scant. Let me shut up. Corey said, is it necessary to, she said it's all about your personal relationship with God. Is it necessary to know who is from God? And you're right, Corey, because if you're from God and they're from God, then real recognize real. That's how y'all say it in the streets. Kindred spirits start to attract. You know what I'm saying? When I'm around people that certain people trouble my spirit. If I'm in your presence and I'm not talking or I'm not participating in the conversation, number one, I don't think you're gonna go half. I don't know what that was. Some fly. I think I got a fruit fly or something in here. Y'all see me reaching for the? Oh, you couldn't even see my hand. I told on myself. Yes, I agree. But I was telling certain people I am. Got it. But he won't fly around here no more. Yes, I agree. But I was telling certain people I am going by what God shows me. God knows how we need to receive. Oh, you just knocked her comment down, Lisa. God knows how we need to receive the word. I think our Holy Spirit is our protection and comforter from God. Absolutely. Ain't no think that's a no. You can know that one. Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. Let me see what Lisa's essay is this time. I'm dealing with the son who is bipolar. And let's pray for Lisa in this regard. And lately his anxiety has gotten worse and he's experiencing paranoia, but he won't let me help him due to pride and status. I'm all out of clues. Yeah. And at that point, that's that, and unfortunately, that I know it don't seem like it's the best advice, but all you can really do is pray, and trust God. But I can't even begin to relate. Hey, Lisa, I'm going through the same thing. Yeah. I like when y'all start talking to each other. Listen, if you don't want to talk, the phone number's right there. The link is pinned. I'll let you come on now. I'll let you come on and say something if you want to say something. Mental health is very hard to deal with. Absolutely. His condition hinders him from accepting sound decisions. And that's what mental health is. Poor mental health is when you're presented with a scenario and your brain doesn't make a good decision in that moment. It doesn't. And you start to mental health becomes healthier as you start to make better decisions. And you can do work to do those things. And that's why I think they do medication and all those things, but mental health is real, and I mean, mental health, I think I think it's a little more subtle and dynamic at the same time, if that makes sense, because some of us have downplayed it. We'll say that Uncle such and such was touched, or and all that kind of stuff. But that was the one. But that he wasn't the only one that was touched. And then when you start to consider some of the traumas that people have faced, I've spoken with so many women. I don't know why they confide in me, but I appreciate it. But so many women who were violated, sexually abused growing up, by family members. And I'm learning more both men were. I'm thank God for my family. Lord have mercy. Yeah. People and those things, you carry those traumas because as you experience those childhood traumas, you develop your attachment style. And so as you grow older, when it comes time to attach to others, you struggle with attachment because of those traumas. Some of us had to face things, thank God. Thank you, Daddy and Mama. But some of us had to face things young in life that no child should have had to go through. And when they went through what they went through, when you went through what you went through, you've had to carry that your whole life. And it's not fair. There's no reason you should have had to go through that. Lisa said, we've been there as a child, but as an adult, he's thrown harsh adult temper tantrums and the family turned their backs on him. But we're all in his face when they heard he's about to sign. Oh, okay, he's a musician, an artist. And that's what people do. That's what people do. And that's the thing about it. People, it amazes me, Corey, because I know you're in the medical profession, but it amazes me, when people try to understand autism. And from what I understand, autistic people think on a higher order. They think on a different level. But we have to give them medicine to slow them down so that they can keep up with us. Is that how that works? I don't get it. I don't, and because so many parents don't understand it, and I was talking about this earlier, Dennis, because so many people don't understand it, they don't know how to cultivate it. Right? I know a few mothers who've dealt with children who are autistic, and they did research. They found out, they found what would make their children more successful. I know one mom in particular, whenever the children would take standardized tests, they had it worked out where they could listen to jazz music, to kind of calm their mind. It involves research. It involves doing the work to create the atmosphere that's conducive to construct what you're trying to construct in your child so that you can get the maximum out of it. But because you don't understand, listen to this, what people don't understand, most times they're afraid of it, so they try to kick it, kill it, or cage it. Does that make sense? What people don't understand, they are afraid of, so they try to kick, kill, or cage it. Why? Because they can't control it. Man cannot create an understanding of the unexplainable. Why are you not on this show tonight? Man cannot create an understanding of the unexplainable, but God has a plan and purpose. Absolutely. But I hate when man gets involved and starts trying to alter God's plan because he doesn't understand it. Why? Because of what I just said. What we don't understand. If everybody understood from a Christian perspective, we'll be cool. But unfortunately, we live in this world, and in this world, the church, Christians, we're minorities, right? But we still have to function in this world and not be of the world. But those that are in the world, there are times that because they don't understand something, they try to kick it, kill it, or cage it. Don't make sense. 5 plan to allow accommodations for things like listen to music. Yeah. But you work in that sphere. You understand that. Some people who don't understand that. You got parents who don't understand, and they're whooping their children because they think the child is acting out, but the child has a mental issue. And I ain't never seen a belt cure mental issues. I've seen a belt cure a bad attitude. But if you're not equipped, this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about getting on open mic night. I like these kind of conversations. They start just flowing and developing organically. When you don't understand, that's why some people, Alicia, they really need to give their parenting cards back. I watched this little girl one time. I've told this story before, but this little girl in the store, we were in Walmart, and she was all of 21, 22 maybe, and the little baby might have been 3. But the baby was doing what babies do, trying to touch candy. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. Instead of smacking him, stop doing that. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. I said, stop jerking that boy around like that. You be quiet. This my baby. This my baby. I said, yeah, you keep doing like that. You're going to make him, you're going to raise him. I said, you're going to raise him. He's going to take it out on everybody that look just like you. Stop doing it. She got real quiet. You got to stop doing it. Messing. And I don't know, Pastor Evans, you let me know. Can abuse, because I would say discipline, but I don't think that's discipline. Can abuse contribute to mental illness? Alicia, you work in that arena. Pastor Evans, you work in that arena. Can abuse, like spankings and yelling at them all the time, can that lead or contribute to mental illness? Let me see what they say. Call in and tell me, or if you want to, or not, you can type it right there, either one. But can that contribute to Cora said yes. Lisa said yes. I'm waiting on, I believe both of y'all, but I'm waiting to see what Pastor Evans and Alicia say. I know Alicia's a therapist, and I know Pastor Evans is a therapist. Yes, abuse can lead to all types of mental health issues. Alicia said he will continue to do it until she teaches him differently. We said all types of mental health issues because yelling and beating. But the thing is, all you do is grab his hand. Now, but when I walked in the store with my son, I mean, because I remember one time, I'm giving you one more example, and I'm probably going to get off here in about 5, 6, 7 minutes. I'm going to give you one more example. My little nephew came to visit us one time when my mom was alive. God rest her soul. And my nephew, my sister, my mom, my ex, all of them, they all went shopping. And I came home and my ex said, that little boy, he's bad. He pulled out his little thing and used the bathroom at the door. He pulled out his little thing and he used the bathroom at the door. I can't leave your mama whooped him and da, 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 da. I said, did he tell y'all he had to go to the bathroom? My mama said, yes, but we were shopping. Da, da. I said, he told you he had to go to the bathroom. I said, Mama, have you ever told him that you would whoop him if he used the bathroom on himself? She said, yes. Now these are two questions. These are only two questions I asked. She said, yes. I said, but you couldn't stop what you were doing to take him to the bathroom? Yeah, he pulled it out and did. I would do the same thing. But when he went places with me, I kept him within arm reach, definitely within eye shot. And whenever he made a decision, he would look at me and then point to whatever he wanted to do or ask whatever he wanted to do. And then I would nod because he was seeking my approval, right? Because of the connection we had. Totally different. I mean, he didn't pull out. And when he said he had to go to the bathroom, guess what I did? I took him. Right? Because I understand he's a child. And I understand do you see what so we cultivate. I don't know how we got on this subject. How we get on this subject? But yeah, trauma is a part of mental. Yes, she said trauma is a part of mental health. I'm acting like I'm preaching it. Yes, Lisa said I was diagnosed with severe PTSD without psychotic features. Okay, I got you. And how do you manage it? How do you manage it, Lisa? Since you put it out there, I wouldn't. How do you manage it? I was abused, not beaten. There's a big difference. Beat in the back with an extension cord and TVs and high heel shoes. Jesus thrown at me. I forgive and respect her, but I stay away from her because she hasn't changed. Wow. And the thing is that happened a long time ago, and you still remember it. That's how trauma affects us. That's how trauma affects us. And most of us make it through life trying to put on masks, Jesus, just to cope, to look like everybody else, at least look the part. Because I don't want to look like what I've been through. Because if I look like what I've been through, ain't nobody gonna like me. Ain't nobody gonna want to be around me. Ain't nobody gonna want to be in my presence. None of those things, because you don't see that Jesus was very specific when he met the disciples on Damascus Road, right? He did something that a lot of us can't do, Alicia. He did something a lot of us can't do, Conjure, Lisa, Pastor. Corey, you know what he did? He showed him his wounds. Let me put that up, Lisa. You see what Dennis said. What Jesus did, Dennis Pittman, he did what a lot of us don't do, especially as men. He showed them his wounds, right? He showed them, because Thomas was a doubter. Didymus, Thomas was a doubter. He said, except I see the nails in his hand and the piercing in his side, I won't believe. That's what he said, right? Why are tears coming out? He said, I won't believe, right? And so Jesus said, okay, cool, I got you. Let me see. Put your hand right here. Thrust your hand into my side, right? So a lot of people don't experience, a lot of people won't believe it because you've covered up the wounds. And you covered up the wounds because you didn't want nobody to see the wounds, right? Because if they see your wounds, then they'll know you're touchable. They'll know you're human. And so we put up this superhuman mask, this ego that lets us know, or that makes everybody else believe that everything is okay when it's really not. And Pastor Evans, it's okay that it's not. Because if it's not, you know what you need at that moment? Recognition, right? Recognition comes before revelation, right? When I recognize where I am, and I recognize how far I've fallen, and I recognize the mistakes that I've made, and I stand in the mirror and I say, God, forgive me. and then I ask God to forgive me, and I know he forgives me, and then I turn around and forgive myself. That's the process. That's part of the process that starts to catapult me and propel me into my next season of life. Because the reason why you stay stuck in the same season is because you fail to recognize that, yeah, you've been wounded. Let me see what Dennis says. Dennis, I have a question, big bro. Is forgiveness real? Pastor Evans, hit that link and come on in here right quick. I need you. Hit that link. It's if you can, yeah, I need you. I feel this. I feel this. Let me see. He said this, and I want y'all to help Dennis out in the chat because I'm a little full right now. Y'all help him out. Hold on. He says, I have a question, big bro. Is forgiveness real? If I forgive you, but I change my behavior according to what you did I really forgive you, or just because I verbally said it, I forgive you? Well, Dennis, they taught us something in school called compound sentences, right? And some of them were compound sentences with conditional statements, right? You just say, is forgiveness real? If I forgive you, but I change my behavior according to what you did I really? If the infraction caused me to care enough to change my behavior, I think forgiveness is real. Does that make sense? If the infraction was enough to cause me to contemplate changing my character or changing my behavior, because I think forgiveness is real. I think forgiveness is real. And I think forgiveness becomes more real when we learn how to forgive ourselves. Once we have experienced, if we give grace to ourselves, then I think it becomes easier to give grace to others. And part of that entails and involves being able to, I think it. Did anybody else think forgiveness is real? Could you? I'll stay on. I told him I'm coming to work late tomorrow, so I'll stay on for a few more minutes. That took me to continue searching my heart. Okay. Lisa said, and let Lisa can preach from the chat tonight. She said that took me to continue searching my heart until I knew I forgave my mom and stepdad. I honor and respect them, but I stay away to avoid negativity. And you have that right. You can call. You can call, or you can come in on the video. The video is right there. You're welcome to. Because maybe I didn't understand your question. You can welcome to call or get in the video. I prefer you to come on the video, but if you want to call, do what you want to do, little bro. And if Pastor Evans, I'm gonna send you this link. And if you want to come on, like I said, I really love his perspective. Hold on, Dennis. I'm inviting Evans if he's available. If he's not, that's okay. That is okay. I'll be liking help to answer these questions sometimes. Dennis, I'm ready for your call whenever you're ready, sir. I am ready for your call. Ready for your call. Uh-oh, an error occurred. I'm singing old school gospel. Ready. If you've not liked this comment, like this, or reacted to this or hearted this, please do that real quick. I see 9 people watching, but I only see 6 reactions. If you haven't liked it. And if you haven't shared it, please share it. Please share it. Because they might not catch it now. They might have to catch the replay. But these are some good conversations. Help me understand your question, little bro. The link to get on the chat or to get on the video is right there pinned to the comments. And that's for anybody. I'm not discriminating. And I'm not going to put you on blast or anything. I'm going to let you talk. Now, like I said, if you get out of turn, then I got to execute the kick button. Because I do have certain standards that I try to adhere to. Come on, Dennis. Where you at? Dennis said he want me to understand his question because I misunderstood. I'm not answering it correctly. So I want to be able to answer it knowledgeably. And if I get it wrong, okay, I got 8 people that like it now. So it's 2 more people that haven't, because I see 10. Let's go. If you haven't liked it or hearted this post, please, ma'am, please, sir. Remember, what are we doing tonight? As y'all remember this always, this is our mantra. If you ever forget, this is our mantra. We're on the path to better. Dennis, tell me you need the phone number if I didn't give it to you. Or if you tried to call and something went wrong. Nope, you haven't tried to call yet. All right, who is that? Did you just call and hang up? Try one more time because it says I'm receiving calls. Yeah, this is part. Some of us forgive, but it doesn't exclude trauma sustain. Absolutely, and forgiveness doesn't mean that you have to, restore the relationship. It doesn't mean you have to restore the relationship. Who is okay? That's somebody calling. Hold on. All right, I got you, Dennis. You there? I'm doing good. Let me bring Pastor Evans up too, okay? And then we're gonna get you started. You, Pastor Evans, he said good. I love it. Y'all be dropping bombs. I got Pastor Evans. Yeah. Hold on. Let me put Dennis in this conversation, y'all. And this is what this show is supposed to do, y'all. We're supposed to be bringing in. I want to hear you all talk. So don't ever be ashamed to call or anything of the sort. Hold on. Can y'all hear him? Hold on one second. Hold on. Can y'all hear him? Say yes or no. Somebody say yes or no. Can y'all hear him? Talk, Dennis. No, they can't hear. I got it. All right, there we go. You up now.
There we go. Are we good now?
Y'all can hear him now, right? So drop a 1 in the chat. No, drop
1, 2.
Now can you hear him, Kawana? Drop a fire in the chat. Y'all still can't hear him?
They said we good?
No. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Hold on. Cause I don't want to put your phone number all over the world. Oh, now you know y'all can hear him now. Okay, good. These responses are delayed. Okay, yeah.
Good.
All right, come on with your question, cause I got to put my friend on the spot. He's gonna have to answer your question tonight. Go ahead.
All right, that'll work. Is Pastor on there too?
He is.
Oh, my guy.
Talk to me, Pat. You can hear me. You can hear me, Dr. Evans. I can't hear you though.
Yes.
Okay. He's good. We're good.
Okay. So
yes.
My question is, if somebody does something to me, and I say that I forgive them, but I change all my behaviors afterward, did I really forgive them, or is it just something that I said to act like it's okay? If I'm not the same as I was before, did I really forgive you? Because if I forgave you, we should be able to keep going the way we were. But if I change my behavior towards you, did I really forgive you? And of course, you have the saying, fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice, shame on you, whatever, however the saying goes. But if I change my behavior after the infraction, did I really forgive you when I said it's forgiven?
That's a good question. And Pastor Evans, he blinked out. So hopefully he'll come back in and help us with that question. You all hear the scenario. Brother Pittman said, did he really forgive you if after it's over, he changes his behavior to it? We're not able to rock like we used to rock. Things, the dynamics of our relationship has changed because I know that you did whatever it was that you did. Pastor Evans, you can come back in when you get a chance. Y'all come on back in. Come on back in. All right, Coy said something. Let's see what Coy said first. Dennis, you still there, right?
I'm still here.
All right, okay. Coy said, just because you forgive doesn't mean you're a fool. Doesn't mean you're allowed back in my circle. So she's saying you can forgive. You taught me where to put you in my life. Okay. Lisa said, not necessarily. There must be mutual positive change to continue relationship. Now, and that's the thing. I don't know if you have to continue the relationship. Okay, here comes Pastor Evans. Let's see what he's going to say. Hold on one second. Are you there, Dr. Evans? All right. So did you hear the scenario?
No, I am hearing. Yes, but I'm hearing two things going at one time. I don't know how to stop it.
Is your phone on or something? Can you turn the volume down on your phone?
Hold on.
Anybody else in the chat that wants to answer Dennis's scenario, do that as well. Is that better, Pastor Evans?
I think everything is down.
I can't hear him.
You can't hear him. I hear him. I can hear. We can hear him, Dennis. So
Oh, I'm hanging up. I got to hear what my guy got to say.
Okay, then you get off. I think I can explain it. I think I can explain it from here. I appreciate you, Dennis.
All right.
All right. Yeah. All right. So Dennis is gone now, y'all. All right. What did I just do? Okay. So it's just me and you, Pastor Evans. All right. Did you hear his scenario? Pastor Evans, you can't hear me?
Yes.
All right. Did you hear his
No.
scenario?
No, I didn't.
All right, I'll tell you what he did. He said, if you did something to me and I forgive you, or I say I forgive you, but I change all my behavior towards you as far as how we used to hang out and do all those things. I don't do those things anymore. Did I really forgive you? And that's what he wants to know. Is forgiveness real from that perspective?
If there is no animosity towards the person, then I believe that the forgiveness has been granted. Now, whether or not the relationship can be restored to what it was before, that may be the issue.
Yeah.
And there are some instances in which the relationship cannot be restored to what it was before because of the violation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think, Dennis, I think that's the part we need to understand. It's okay if the relationship isn't restored, right? I mean, because I can forgive you and put it into a place where it no longer hinders me. See, the thing about it is when I fail to forgive, then I've kind of put myself in a position where I've assumed the role of a judge, I've assumed the role of an executor, and that's just not a role that I want in somebody's life, right? So when I release them of that obligation, or when I release them of that infraction, I've released them spiritually, I've released them emotionally, I've even released them physically. Now, if we decide to work on the relationship going forward, now I'm gonna use this as an example. My ex-wife forgave me, but we're not getting married again.
Yeah.
But we can have a conversation.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Pastor Evan, anything else I touch on tonight that you think we need to really address or highlight before we get out of here tonight? Because I'm not going to be on much longer. I know we touched on a lot of mental health things. So anything in?
No, I mean, mental health is just what it is. You have to take care of your mental health, just like your physical health. And there's usually help that is accessible. And we just have to take the necessary steps to get the help that we need.
Yeah, I think that's good. All right, Charles, y'all say good night to Pastor Evans. He jumped on real quick, still got his sweater on, shirt on, everything. He was good to go. Did you have to go put a shirt on right quick?
Yes.
All right, my friend. I appreciate you. You have a good night, man.
Take care, though.
All right. Yeah. So, Dennis, I hope you got your answer. Listen, y'all know what I want to do next week, and I want y'all to think about this. Next week, and I'm getting ready to go because I'm tired. But next week, I want to talk about silent sufferers. I was supposed to do that tonight, but I changed my mind. I want to talk about silent sufferers because I think so many of us, especially as we're seeking to get these breakthroughs and whatnot that we talk about, I think so many of us suffer in silence. But we're real good at wearing masks. I mean, real good at wearing masks. And so as we get on this path to better, and as we get closer to our breakthroughs, it's going to involve taking the mask off and being comfortable with who you see in the mirror. And I think it's possible. I really do. I think all of us, we're on the path to better. I think it's possible. I know it's possible. You know how I know it's possible? Because it's happening for me. I'm in the process. I'm on the path to better. And I promise you, those that know me, I don't look like what I looked like this time last year. And I'm telling you, you can only imagine what I'm going to look like next year because I'm on the path to better. And if you're on the path to better, yeah. Hey, do me a favor. But next week, let's get ready for silent sufferers. Those of you all, I have on the website, when you go to the Intellectual Stew page, at the bottom, I have testimonials. And I have a few people who have given testimonials. And I put them on the website. If this show blesses you, send me a little testimonial or go to the page and review it, whatever. But send me a testimony. If you want to go on the webpage, some of you all I will allow. I can't say, I ain't gonna lie, because some of y'all write 2-minute longer essays. I'm just joking. But if you send me a good picture and a nice little write-up, then I'll put that testimonial on the website. And then I notice you all in the chat, right? I notice those who support. You know, some of you all send cash apps, and some of you all purchase t-shirts. I'm still gonna be funny looking. That's fine, as long as they're laughing with me instead of at me. But some of you all support. You come to my events. You know, you buy t-shirts. Some of you purchase my book. All those things. I see all those things. And so if you might be on the website as, you know, the Stu Crew member of the month, you know, I got somebody on there now, and they're on there this time, and next month it might be somebody else. But if you would, let's grow this community. If you're on the website, go ahead and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, do that. Subscribe to Stu Crew so I can start sending out updates and all those types of things. I want us to grow together. Yeah, y'all want to grow with me as we're on the path to better? Yeah. So that's what we're gonna do as we continue to do this. It's time to go. Next week, silent sufferers. If you're one of those who suffer silently and you want to be a part of the show, a part of the platform, reach out. Lupus. Some people go through that. Yeah. That's right, Alicia. We may fool others, but we will never fool ourselves. And sometimes we might be a little, you know, I think sometimes if the mental health isn't healthy, delusion will step in, and sometimes people will fool themselves into believing that there's something that I might debate you on that one, Alicia. I know you're a better debater than I, but I might debate you on that one. Just a little bit, gently, gentle debate, not hard, just a gentle debate, Yeah. So it's been real. I hope you all enjoyed the show tonight. If you have not purchased your The World is Changing, Why Do You Remain the Same t-shirt, let me show you what it looks like real quick. You can go to the website and see it. You can reach out to me and I can send it to you, or there it is. You can reach out to me and I'll send it to you, or you can order it through the website and they will send it to you. Okay. Either way is fine with me, but I want you to be a part of this movement. I'm thinking about doing a contest. On the t-shirt. I'm thinking about doing a t-shirt. Corey, let's talk about that. I might need your help with something. I want to do a contest on The World is Changing. Alicia, let's talk about this. The World is Changing. Why Do You Remain the Same t-shirt? I want to see who might come up with the best blog. And whoever comes up with the best blog or essay, whatever they want to do, I'm thinking about giving a cash prize. Yeah. Maybe a t-shirt and a cash prize for whoever does the best, most creative blog with that statement, the world is changing. Why do you, there they are. Why do you remain the same? I'm thinking about doing that. I might need some sponsors on that, but let me pray about that for a week. But some of y'all that y'all gonna have to sow if y'all really want to get blessed. All right. But let me get out of here. I'm going to go. As I always say, Corey, you're not on here. I would have you say it for me, but you're not. So I got to say it. The world is changing. My question for you is, why do you remain the same? Y'all have a good
Intellectual Stew with James Kirkland.
Powerful and provocative, prophetic and practical,
Have you ever found yourself?
Are you dating for that person?
informative and
I feel
inspirational.
every bit of that. Like, I'm not trying to waste my
How you gonna do better if you don't know what better looks like? I do.
Intellectual Stew.
Come on, let's talk about it with me, the mind massager.
Intellectual